Alright, welcome back to the channel everyone. So today I'm going to do a bit of a workshop upgrade. Um, it's related to power, so for those of you that have been sort of following on along at home, um, you'll know that I run my shed off solar panels and batteries and inverters and stuff. So I actually have three inverters. So there's that one off there. That one's got two solar panels hanging off it, and it's obviously just got those two batteries there. I know they're not great, but that's okay. It's doing what I need it to do at the moment. The other one I've got, actually I've got four inverters. So I've got one here as well, and I've got another two up here. So this one here runs my light and the little fan that I've got here, just blowing some air around. And the one up there is just a spare extra in case I need to run things. So I run different inverters depending on what my requirements are at the time. So what I'm going to be doing today is putting this one in. So it's actually a fairly sizable unit, physically and from what it can do. So the problem I'm trying to solve is this particular one is great. So it's a 2500 watt and it's a 5000 watt surge. So basically that does pretty much all the big stuff that I've got to do. I've got a couple of things that I need to run that have seemingly a bit of a higher surge, and I also want to run 15 amp stuff. I've got a welder that runs 15 amps, so I want to be able to run that as well. So that's 25 nominal and 5000 peak, and apparently this one under here is the same. If you read the details there, it's the same, but I've run this one on a few things and it's actually cut out on me because it can't handle it. So what I decided to do was to buy this one, which is supposedly, yes, it is from China, it's from AliExpress. It's 5000 nominal and 10,000 peak. So it's got four outlets on it. So I don't know if that 5000 is divided between those four. I guess I'll find out. But I'm going to swap this one into up here where this one is, and then this one will go down into here where this one is, and then this one's going to go basically on the scrap heap because it's clearly not coping anymore. It was old and secondhand when I bought it, and I never really used it, except now I'm trying to use it. It's not really working the way I need it to, so that's okay. Time for an upgrade. So that's what I'm doing today. Alright, so this one's turned off at the moment, so all I've got to do is just unplug everything. The panels are obviously still going through the charge controller here, but I've got the battery isolated from up here. So there's no power going to this actual unit. All I've got to do is just unplug that and undo the couple of bolts over there that are holding the cables on, and then hopefully just plug the other one in. It's a bit longer, so I'm just not sure how well it's going to work as far as getting it plugged in and hooked up is concerned. I might have to move some of this stuff across a bit. We'll see. And I'm going to have the opposite problem on the other one because it's lower. Alright, so I'll just grab a socket for those. Alright, we've got those loosened off. We'll just take these off. Alright, that's that undone. Now I've just got to drop the screws out of it. There's one. There's two. It's still heavy. Alright, now I just get to size locate the new one. So yep, definitely a bit longer. I can just move it closer to the charge controller, which is okay. I'm just going to remove, or at least bend over those two nails because they're kind of in the way. Alright. Now I'm just going to make sure I've got enough length on these power cables to get across to there. I think I will. I'll get them over there. But I will just have to make sure I mount this as close as I possibly can to the charge controller up here, just to make sure that I've got enough clearance on the other side for the battery terminals. No, I can't go too close because then I won't be able to put the power supply cables in. Alright, so I think I'm just going to move the charge controller across a bit first and give myself a little bit more space. I've just had a cable come out of there. That's unfortunate. That's a bit frustrating. Anywho. Put that back in. Do the other ones up while I'm at it. That was a bit scary. One screw, big one first. Stop. Okay, now I'll have another go at putting the inverter up. I might just plug one of my plugs into it so that I know how much space I've got. That should be right now though. Yeah. so I know where I'm going to put it. Now just going to be able to hold it and put it up there at the same time. Okay, that's one. Fix that up properly in a second. Okay, it looks like it's slightly crooked, but that's okay. Alright, now time for new power cables. Well, not new power cables, but the power cables to go into the inverter. Alright, so that's hooked up. I've just got to tighten those up. What I actually like about this one as well is that the positive and negative are actually sort of, instead of being on the same plane, they're actually separated from each other vertically, so you can't actually, well, it makes it a lot harder to accidentally touch them together, which is good. Alright, I'll just tighten these up now. Alright, that's done. We'll just plug it in and make sure it makes all the right noises. So battery on, power on. Okay, so I've got 240 there. Okay, that's why I've got a lathe just spinning underneath there. That's the closest thing I can run from it, so that's okay. That's all I need to do is just make sure that it works. It's got a nice little display on it showing that I've got 12.8 volts going in, 240 coming out, and the watts I think it's drawing when it's running. Yep. So this lathe's drawing 130 watts. So what's that, about 2 amps? That's okay, that's good. Okay, alright, we'll turn it off and we'll move on to the next one. Alright, so it's time to pull this one out. So again, all the batteries are isolated, so I can just undo these ones. Now the bad thing about this one is I do have a negative cable on it rather than a positive cable where the positive is. So they do give me a cable. We'll see if it will reach. I don't know if it will or not. It might. We'll see. But in the meantime, I'll just grab a spanner and pull the connectors off. Alright, that's one cable off. That's my negative positive cable off. Or my positive negative cable, whichever way you want to look at it. Now the actual negative cable. Which side I want it to come off. There we go. Can't see it because it's hiding down behind there. My drill press is in the way as well. Alright, get all the screws out of this one now. So you can see this is the old unit, and it's very big and square for what it was at the time. Have no idea how old it is, but I think I bought it. Dear me, I think it must be at least probably 20 years ago now. Maybe not that long, but not far off it. So yeah, it's probably just seen its day, unfortunately. Alright, so this is the new cable that the other inverter came with. I'm just going to see if it's going to reach in any way, shape. This is going to be, I think it's going to be close, but no cigar. Can't make it reach that one either. Okay, no, I'm going to have to stick with the other one. Alright, just finish pulling these other screws out. As I put that inverter in and the screws in before I put the switch panel that you can see there up. Need stubby screwdriver. So I may end up having to move this piece of wood up as well. We'll see. I can adjust the feet on this one, so I might not have to. The challenge with this one now is that the battery terminals are actually going up into the gap under here. That's going to make it a little bit harder to get the cables on in the first place. But I will just adjust these mounts so that I can push it up. Alright, so I've just pushed these mounts right up until the edge of the casing here, not for any other particular reason other than it was just easier to line it up there. So that's now easier to mount there, but I think it might be slightly on the wide side. So I think what I might do is actually just pull that piece of wood out of the way. Actually, no, wait, I'll leave it there because I think it's holding stuff up. So what I might do is I might just mount it hard up against here. Then that's going to get me closer to that, I think. Alright, what I think I might do instead is just mount a new board here. And that'll then give me enough width to mount everything on it properly. Because as you can see, just with me holding it, you can see that it's fitting quite nicely all in there. Alright, now we can go back to screwing the inverter up, once I can remember where I put the screws. Alright, so time to put the inverter on. I'll just try and keep it down as low as I can so that I can actually get to the battery terminals okay, but also I don't want it too low because then it's going to hit the chimney for the fireplace there, so bit of a balancing act. Alright, I'll just hook up the battery now. Obviously you won't be able to see me do that because that's sort of here. -1 I'll do first. That's actually in there. Hopefully I'll be able to get the socket or something onto that to tighten those up. Alright, that's the -1. And now my version of a positive. Too many cables behind here, it's making it a bit hard. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, the cables are on there now. So now I'm just going to put the covers on so I can't short it out, and then we'll give it a quick test and see if it works okay. So cap's going in. One positive, one negative. Alright, battery on. Just making all the right noises. Okay, apparently we've got power. There we go. That's the drill just here that's running. Okay. Success. This one also has a remote control unit. So that's this unit here. So I could actually, think about putting that here somewhere if I feel like it. I might not. Don't know yet. That's another day's problem. Alright, well thanks for getting to the end of this one. Only a little short video, obviously, about just changing the inverters around in the place. Let me know what you think of my setup, just because I'm curious. The reason I've done it, it's the same as you've got in your house effectively. You've got one circuit for your lights, and then you've got separate circuit for your stove and your power points in your bedroom and all that sort of stuff. That's one sort of reason. The other main reason is that if I'm just doing this sort of thing, I might need there's a light just up there that can run off the small inverter. I've got the little fan over there that just keeps me cool as I'm standing here in the hot days, just to have some fresh air blowing on me. So I don't need to run, a 5,000 watt inverter. But if I want to plug, like the washing machine in or the welder in, then I need, that one. So, that's the reason for having different inverters. Whether I should run them all off the same battery setup or not is another question. I sort of did it this way so that if one fails, then I've still got like a backup as such. So, just a bit of redundancy for power around in the shed. You can also use it in the case of a storm in the house, for anything like that. So yeah, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for me, and I'll see you in the next one.